Hi, welcome. You're watching Real Talk on the 4th of January 2021. This is the first video I'm doing this year. Thanks for joining me. It's going to be a bit of a strange one. I am struggling a little bit because I might have, not saying I do have, there's a chance that I may have COVID. I have taken a test. We're waiting for results for my missus to her results to come through. So we're not doing too great at the moment. But let me get through to tell you what's happened with my symptoms. I'm not feeling ill. I've only started feeling a little bit lousy in the last hour. But for the last 3 days roughly, I have absolutely no sense of smell. Nothing. I've got e-liquid from Riot Squad, you know, nothing. I couldn't tell you what flavour it was. I put my face in a bowl of tuna the other day, nothing. Put my face in a bowl of garlic or a jar of lazy garlic, absolutely nothing. So I'm hoping you can hear me okay. I've got a brand spanking new actual microphone. I've got the dog trying to muscle his way into the living room. Give me 1 sec. Got the dog trying to muscle his way into the living room, but hopefully you can hear me and everything's fine and dandy. I'm also using nice shiny new webcam, so much appreciated to my missus for getting me these two really handy and really nice expensive things for Christmas that helped me out with my live streaming. So first of all, let me just say to everyone, Happy New Year. I hope you had a lovely Christmas, and I do hope you enjoyed your Christmas and New Year safely and responsibly. Within the next few minutes, what we're going to be doing is having a box roughly here, and we're going to be watching live Boris Johnson. Now, I'm going to be reading some of these comments. Let's have a look. Adzem, good evening, Chris. Good evening to you. Transport Hub, hi, Chris. Hi, Jack. Sam Stephen, evening, Chris. Evening to you. Hello, Sarah's Random Videos. Yeah, you said, but Bojo is always late. Yeah, well, we'll see. Remember, when I say something should happen, then it should happen there and then. I'm predicting what he's about to say. And what I think he's going to say, I actually predicted weeks ago. In fact, Transport Hub in the comment section should be on the ball with what I said and when I said it. Yeah, cheers for the clock just here, by the way. I've had a few problems with the clock. It is not very, not the way I want it to look, basically. I came out of quarantine like 2 days ago, says Southern Transport 466. And the thing is, I do hope you're well. I really do. And there's a lot of people out there, sadly, who just don't believe in COVID. It is real. It is real. I've had arguments. I've had conversations. I've actually started almost pulling my hair out with some people in regards to COVID and these so-called conspiracies that are going around about Bill Gates and China and all this, that, and the other. And it just gets on my nerves. It really does. So if you're a COVID denier, shame on you. I have become a little bit of a keyboard warrior of late, particularly on Sky News and on BBC News on Facebook, where if I see something, if I read something I don't agree with, I have been known to tell people exactly why they are wrong, without being distasteful about it, of course. Bobby Swanson, Happy New Year. But I do apologise if I'm a little bit sluggish or if I don't quite articulate my words properly. I am in a really warm room and I'm a little bit chilly. That means one has a fever. However, we'll crack on with it. I may or may not have COVID. We'll wait for the results to come through. Let's read some of this. The COVID deniers have just pissed me off recently, as you saw in my ranty comment in the last video. Yes. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Samantha Hurst, Happy New Year. I just want to take this time to say thank you to everyone that has stuck with me over the last couple of years. I know that my videos, my content isn't to everyone's liking. I lose a lot of subs on a weekly basis, but equally I do get some back, so it's kind of a balance at the moment. I've recently lost around about 40 subscribers since my last video, which I think was that massive rant I done on COVID cultists. So looks like people can't really take the truth, unfortunately. Hope your family are doing well, Chris. As London buses, my kids are okay. My missus ain't too great. I'm having to look after her the best I can anyway. But it is my eldest boy's birthday today. Forgive me, I'm watching the news at the moment. I'm keeping an eye on BBC iPlayer. But it is my boy's birthday today. He's my boy Jack. He's 12 today. But he's not going to be going back to school. We're actually home learning now until it's safe for him to go back. But it's a roller coaster ride. 2020 was an absolute crap show for the planet. 2021 has got a lot of building to do. We've got the vaccine now. It's being rolled out slowly but surely. It's being rolled out, and that's another thing that I really want to get on there. Is personally, in my opinion, the vaccine, the priority was wrong. Someone like me should be 6th on the list according to the government, and they got the whole order wrong. What they should have done was vaccinate all NHS staff first. All NHS staff, from consultants at the high level to chief executives, all the way through every single grade down to the cleaners and the people that work in canteens. Every single person that works for the NHS, bar none, and care homes should have been done first. From there, every single person with an underlying health condition or a high-risk person should be next. So number 1 and number 2 sorted. That would mean I would be getting my little jab in the arm sooner rather than later. But who am I to say what's common sense or not? I mean, that's all I've been speaking for the last few years is common sense. And yet no one seems to listen to a word I say. And yet have I ever been wrong? It's very rare that I'm wrong. I've got to say, it is very rare that I'm wrong. But the time is now 19:58. It is 2 minutes to 8 o'clock, and I'm keeping an eye on the news. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be watching this. We're going to be watching this together. I might pause it from time to time to have a reaction to Boris Johnson or Professor Chris Whitty, who looks strangely like a plasticine character that I saw on a video once with his butt hanging out, which is really weird. Let's have a look at it. Stay safe, everyone. Sarah's running. I can't volunteer at the hospital. Mine. I'm gutted. Want to go back. Excuse me. And this is another thing in regards to my symptoms. Is I can't taste. With the tasting, it's literally sugar or salt. Those are the only 2 things I can taste, and maybe some spice. I can tell if something's spicy. I can tell it's spicy, but I get the burn, but I can't taste. If you was to give me a bar of chocolate and say, look, this is chocolate orange or this is mint, what flavour is it? I could tell you it was sweet. That's it. I had McDonald's for dinner. I tasted salty cardboard meat. That is it. Bojo is here. So I'm watching this on the news at the moment. So what we're going to do is we're going to go bang, and we're going to go
with
bang.
The economy, with interfering with people's lives, really. You know, a prime minister, any prime minister, having to effectively dictate to people who they can see and when they can see it. That is a problem for anybody. But you can tell, of course, Boris Johnson extremely reluctant to do that, and has been from the beginning. And you know, the peaks and troughs really of this past 9 months, where I think many people did hope that come the summer the worst was behind us. That turned out not to be the case, and yes, he's been criticised for not acting sooner.
Vicky, thank you very much. We'll talk to you after Mr. Johnson has spoken. If you're just joining us, you're watching a BBC News special, and we're broadcasting this address by the Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, on the latest measures in the pandemic.
Yes. Lovely. Nice to see everybody. My name is Boris Johnson. Here we go.
Since the pandemic began last year, the whole United Kingdom has been engaged in a great national effort to fight COVID. And there's no doubt that in fighting the old variant of the virus, our collective efforts were working and would have continued to work. But we now have a new variant of the virus, and it's been both frustrating and alarming to see the speed with which the new variant is spreading. Our scientists have confirmed this new variant is between 50 and 70% more transmissible. That means you're much, much more likely to catch the virus and to pass it on. As I speak to you tonight, our hospitals are under more pressure from COVID than at any time since the start of the pandemic.
Let me just say quickly.
In England alone...
Right, I can pause this right here, which is great. Let me just say that the reason why our hospitals are stretched now is because all of those amazing Nightingale hospitals that we have, he has literally mothballed until we needed them. What should have happened, this is my common sense brain, what he should have done was have those hospitals open and running, taking new COVID cases the whole time, and have hospitals as the overflow, so hospitals could actually deal with other people that needed medical attention. So those Nightingale hospitals that were empty should be full, and hospitals should have been the overflow. But that's just me. Let's crack on, shall we?
The number of COVID patients in hospitals has increased by nearly a third in the last week to almost 27,000. And that number is 40% higher than the first peak in April. On the 29th of December, more than 80,000 people tested positive for COVID across the UK, a new record. The number of deaths is up by 20% over the last week and will sadly rise further. And my thoughts are with all those who've lost loved ones. With most of the country already under extreme measures, it's clear that we need to do more together to bring this new variant under control while our vaccines are rolled out. In England, we must therefore go into a national lockdown which is tough enough to contain this variant. That means the government is once again instructing you to stay at home. You may only leave home for limited reasons permitted in law, such as to shop for essentials, to work if you absolutely cannot work from home, to exercise, to seek medical assistance, such as getting a COVID test, or to escape domestic abuse.
Pause it again. Did I not say not 2 or 3 weeks ago, give it Christmas, give it New Year, they'll put us on a national lockdown? Those were my words. Please, someone tell me I'm wrong. I could see this coming a mile away. This is exactly what I said was going to happen. Is it not? So there we go. Yet again, the common sense of moi has predicted the future. Yet again. Let's continue, shall we?
The full details of what you can and can't do will be available at gov.uk/coronavirus. If you are clinically extremely vulnerable, we're advising you to begin shielding again, and you will shortly receive a letter about what this means for you. And because we now have to do everything we possibly can to stop the spread of the disease, primary schools, secondary schools, and colleges across England must move to remote provision from tomorrow, except for vulnerable children and the children of key workers. Everyone will still be able to access early years settings such as nurseries. We recognise that this will mean it's not possible or fair for all exams to go ahead this summer as normal. The Education Secretary will work with Ofqual to put in place alternative arrangements. We will provide extra support to ensure that pupils entitled to free school meals will continue to receive them while schools are closed, and we will distribute more devices to support remote education. I completely understand the inconvenience and distress this late change will cause millions of parents and pupils up and down the country.
You think?
Parents whose children were in school today may reasonably ask why we did not take this decision sooner. And the answer is simply that we've been doing everything in our power to keep schools open, because we know how important each day in education is to children's life chances. And I want to stress that the problem is not that schools are unsafe for children. Children are still very unlikely to be severe.
All right, let me just say what I think he's going to say here. He's going to say that it's not particularly unsafe for children. However, children can carry it home and pass it on to you and your loved ones.
Severely affected by even the new variant of COVID. The problem is that schools may nonetheless act as vectors for transmission, causing the virus to spread between households. Today, the United Kingdom's chief medical officers have advised that the country should move to alert level 5, meaning that if action is not taken, NHS capacity may be overwhelmed within 21 days. Of course, there's one huge difference compared to last year. We're now rolling out the biggest vaccination programme in our history. So far, we in the UK have vaccinated more people than in the rest of Europe combined. With the arrival today of the UK's own Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine, the pace of vaccination is accelerating. I can share with you tonight the NHS's realistic expectations for the vaccination programme in the coming weeks. By the middle of February, if things go well and with a fair wind in our sails, we expect to have offered the first vaccine dose to everyone in the 4 top priority groups identified by the Joint Committee on Vaccination and Immunisation. That means vaccinating all residents in a care home for older adults and their carers, everyone over the age of 70, all frontline health and social care workers, and everyone who is clinically extremely vulnerable. If we succeed in vaccinating all those...
No, he's wrong, because he said everyone who's clinically extremely vulnerable. That puts me in number 6 on the queue, not number 4, so don't know what he's talking there.
Groups. We will have removed huge numbers of people from the path of the virus. And of course, that will eventually enable us to lift many of the restrictions we have endured for so long. I must emphasise that even if we achieve this goal, there remains a time lag of 2 to 3 weeks from getting a jab to receiving immunity, and there will be a further time lag before the pressure on the NHS is lifted. So we should remain cautious about the timetable ahead. But if our understanding of the virus doesn't change dramatically once again, if the rollout of the vaccine programme continues to be successful, if deaths start to fall as the vaccine takes effect, and critically, if everyone plays their part by following the rules, then I hope we can steadily move out of lockdown, reopening schools after the February half-term and starting cautiously to move regions down the tiers. I want to say to everyone right across the UK that I know how tough this is, and I know how frustrated you are.
No, he doesn't understand how tough it is and how frustrated we are. He hasn't got to live like thousands upon thousands of people in this country on furlough, does he? No, Yes, he's had the virus. He understands what it's like, but he doesn't know what it's like to live with nothing, does he? Mr. Privileged boy sitting there telling us what to do. That's completely fine, isn't it? For him to lay down the law and put another lockdown in, which is fine. I called the lockdown, I said it was going to happen. I think lockdown should have been tougher the first time round. The second time round, it was an absolute... I'm not going to swear. I'm not going to swear. The second lockdown was just a joke. But it needs to be enforced. It needs to be enforced. So you're going to say I'm draconian right now and you can't say this and you can't do that. Fine. Don't care. What should have happened in the first lockdown, which is what should happen now, is we should have checkpoints outside with the armed forces and police, if need be, to make sure people ain't travelling where they shouldn't be going to. There should be an app on your phone which allows you to travel if you have a reason for going out, whether it's shopping or going to the hospital. You put on the app where you're going, you go to that place and you come back. If you're stopped, you say, look, this is my permit to travel, what have you, whatever. But that's just my opinion. God knows I'm born with common sense, but it just doesn't go anywhere else, does it? Let's continue, shall we?
And I know that you've had more than enough of government guidance about defeating this virus. But now, more than ever, we must pull together. You should follow the new rules from now, and they will become law in the early hours of Wednesday morning. Parliament will meet largely remotely later that day.
Let me just make this very clear. From Wednesday, this is going to be law. Those were his words. That's what it was the last time, and yet people still thought that it wasn't the law. They could go out and do as they please, that the rules didn't apply to them. If you're a COVID denier or a rule breaker, and remember, over Christmas and New Year, thousands and thousands of people broke the rules. Guarantee over the next week, just mark my words, cases won't change. If anything, they're going to get worse when they should have actually dropped over the Christmas and New Year period. But because people broke the rules, this is what's happened. A lot of people can say, oh, Chris, but you have COVID. You broke the rules. No. I could have got mine from anywhere. Could have come from the kids from before they broke up from school. Could have come in from shopping delivery. Could have come in on an Amazon delivery for all I know. Yes, I have been out shopping. Always wear a mask. Always have, look, antibacterial with my name on it, for God's sake. Never leave home without it. I've been taking my precautions. The virus somehow, I think, if it has got me somehow. So if I, with all my precautions, can still get this ridiculous virus, then anyone can get this virus.
I know that the devolved administrations in Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland share my conviction that this is a pivotal moment and they're taking similar steps. The weeks ahead will be the hardest yet, but I really do believe that we're entering the last phase of the struggle, because with every jab that goes into our arms, we are tilting the odds against COVID and in favour of the British people. And thanks to the miracle of science, not only is the end in sight, but we know exactly how we will get there. But for now, I'm afraid you must once again stay at home, protect the NHS, and save lives. Thank you all very much.
Well, there we have it, everyone. There we have it. This is basically me yet again being right about something. And a lot of you are probably going to be thinking, Chris, you're such a know-it-all, you smug bastard. You know, why can't you just have your opinion, keep it to yourself? Sorry, this is called Real Talk. Formerly Chris's Real Talk. This is me. This is all me right here. This is me and my opinion, which I'm allowed to share. And I haven't been wrong once. And the thing is, you look at the figures. You look at the figures as they stand currently. I made a prediction last year that by, I think it was April this year, 2021, and we'll be looking at between 95 and 100 and something thousand deaths. We're over 75,000, I believe. I could be wrong on that, excuse me. But we're on target for meeting yet another prediction that I've made about this ridiculous virus. Have I not? Let me read some of these comments. So I do apologise if I do go quiet. If you think I'm ignoring you, I haven't been ignoring you. You've all been talking among yourselves in the comment section. I really appreciate that. I'm going to go read them right now. Makes a change to Transport Hub. He's speaking already. You might want to fast forward, Chris. I hope Double Decker Anton is okay, Chris. Been very quiet lately. Anton is doing what Anton does, and Anton does it very well. We have been talking, me and Anton, on and off. Haven't always seen eye to eye. We've been arguing a lot lately, so take from that what you will, but that's entirely down to him. Sergeant Major Patrick Harper. Oi, oi, bloody oi. It's much easier to understand when it's you to explain, Chris. I have learning disabilities, and it's easier to understand when you explain it. Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that. It's not so confusing like when the government says, Sarah's random videos, I try. I appreciate you saying that. And the thing is, it's not just for me, this channel. Yes, I said it's all about me, but the thing is, it's not just about me. It's about you, my fantastic subscribers, who literally take the time and patience to watch and listen to what I have to say. So if I can help you understand something, then I will always try. Bang on again, Chris, says Stuart, bus driver. I try. Yeah, I agree, Sarah. Chris should do more of these watch live announcements. I'll try. I'll try. Does this mean appointments can still go ahead? I don't know. It feels good to catch one finally again. Yeah, it's been difficult me trying to get a live done. I've been wanting to do one since Christmas Day, funny enough, but just circumstances, it hasn't really worked out. Chris can make a prediction on when we'll go out of lockdown. I think restrictions in this country will be, everyone will be on tier 3 or tier 2 by August. So by August, I'll be 37. Another year would have gone by, and I don't know if I'll be back at work or not. I've literally just by Boris Johnson been told to shield again because I'm higher risk. I was due to be going back to work at the end of this month. I was supposed to be starting work again today, and work contacted me and said, look, we'll give you to the end of the month. As I've just been told to shield, then there's a good chance that I'll remain on furlough until further notice. But that's not down to me, that's down to my employer. But we'll wait and see what happens there. What is level 5? Level 5, Samantha, is basically full lockdown. It's not exactly a level 5 or a tier 5. We've got 4 tier restrictions. Tier 4 is pretty much a lockdown with some shops open. You can go out, you can meet one person outside, what have you. A full lockdown is basically tier 5, where nothing, you can't do anything. That's what's happening there. The worst level, basically, it's basically lockdown we had at the start of last year. Can you still go to the park with Stanford? Probably, because if it's essential, if I have to walk my dog, then I will go and walk my dog. I'm allowed to go out and do some exercise because I can't have my dog running up and down my passageway. I believe that should be okay. Tougher restrictions like March lockdown, I think, says Arjan Sandhu. Arjan, thanks for joining. I haven't seen your name crop up before, so if I have, and I just don't remember you, I do apologise, but thanks for joining me. Robert Madden. Sarah, in Ireland, non-urgent cases in hospitals are being deferred, which include operations. COVID numbers are way up here too. My consultant appointment on Friday will be by phone video link. Yeah, pretty much every let me get my glasses. Every consultant I've had to speak to over the last year has been over the phone. All my appointments have been moved to telephone appointments. So I've got food on my glasses. Thank you, boys. I can't wear my glasses because my boys have got food on them. So I hope you can hear me okay. This new microphone I think is fantastic. It picks up everything and reduces a lot of background noise. We need more guidelines and better infrastructure. Says Samantha Hurst. Not infrastructure to lock down like UK currently. See, it's difficult. Samantha Hurst, I do believe. Just Sam, do me a favour. You're in Arkansas. You're in the States. You're in the States. This is the sort of thing I want to find out what's happening in the States, because there's a lot of cases in the States. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of deaths in the States, and I think it's absolutely terrible. However, if you take that entire number and you divide that by 50 states, if each state was classed as a country, America's not doing that bad. I know it sounds terrible of me, and a lot of people are dying, but if you divide the amount of dead by the amount of states there are, America's not doing as bad as people say. I'm just saying, you know, yes, wear a mask when you go outside. Don't be a dick, but it's not as bad as what you may think it is. And I can say that because I know people. I've got friends that live in the States. I've got, you know, it's terrible. Sorry if I've not read everyone's comments. I do apologise. You still get the virus from just opening a window for Google air circulation. I don't know. See, I don't know. See, if they say keep your door open the window, let the virus go. So if the virus leaves you and it goes outside out the window, then surely it's then in the atmosphere and it can survive for days in the atmosphere as a particle. Anyone could breathe that in. I don't know. You'll get through it, Chris. Stay safe. You too, Jack. Really appreciate that. Backlogged currently, but PCR are available most places. Charlene Baptiste says, check your phone. I did get a message from you, Bap. I'm not going to read my message while I'm doing the live, but thanks for joining. Hi, how are you? Bus videos, hello, says Metro Bus. Soto Awareness, hi, Chris. Hi to you. London buses 208. It's a very difficult time for everyone, but please try to stay at home. Yeah, again, it's Milo TKR predicts as well, COVID deaths are going to hopefully go down in April. However, I do think your prediction of lockdown easing is probably more realistic of August. Mask is law here in public. Yeah, it should be. And the last comment I've got here is only go out to shops, exercise, and for appointments. We only do grocery pickup. Mum has COPD. So it's a difficult thing. It's a very difficult thing. Charlene Baptiste, I'm good. The mic is working well and you're coming across well. Thank you, Charlene. And for those who don't know, you probably won't, is whoever's just commenting right about here. Hello. This is Charlene Baptiste. She's a very, very good friend of mine. I've known her for the best part of 20 years or more. We went to school together. Now, I've got to say, for Charlene, it is quite difficult because being a mum, and a damn good one at that, she's also staff or a teacher in a school in South London. So being our teaching assistant / first aider, and being in that kind of environment where there are kids everywhere, you don't know what they have, and yet she's trying to do her best not to catch something and keep going to work and do the best she can. So to all of you key workers out there, because Charlene, you are one, to teachers, doctors, nurses, supermarket staff in particular, bus drivers, train drivers, tram drivers, every single key worker, yet again, the government is calling on you to keep this country moving. That's what's going to end up happening there. We, as key workers, I would love to get back to work personally. I just don't see it happening. For me, it ain't that safe. I hope I don't have COVID. I probably don't have it. But like I said, the test has gone out. But we'll wait and see what happens. But if I have got it and this is as bad as it's going to get for me, then God knows I've got very lucky. But there are lots of people out there, sadly, that don't get very lucky. There are millions of people out there that are going to get COVID still. And there are thousands that are going to die. This week, thousands of people will die. And it's sad. So yes, there is a national lockdown. And yes, I do agree with it. Did I predict it correctly yet again? Yes, I did. So there we go. Anyway, I do appreciate everyone joining me this evening. The time is 2026 precisely, actually. You've been watching Chris on Real Talk. Thank you very much for joining me yet again. If it's your first time joining me, hit the like button. Please subscribe, share one video. Lots to talk about on this channel. You've all been amazing. Happy New Year. Love you lots. Mwah.